Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar. We have a fabulous webinar for you this morning or afternoon, wherever you are, and it's titled MSP Business Strategies, Building Success in an Uncertain Market. But before we start, let me do some housekeeping. This is your webinar, so we very much want you to participate and ask questions. There are two ways to do this. You can virtually raise your hand by clicking on the hand on your control panel. We can then unmute you and you can ask your question live, or you can type in your question in the question box on the control panel, and I will put questions to the audience. And I said it is your webinar, so to keep those questions coming in. We have a fabulous panel for you today. For MSPs, CEOs will be sharing the strategies they are using to grow their businesses in today's very uncertain market. Our first panelist is Leslie Chiorazzi, Managing Partner at CMIT Solutions of Murray Hill for 3.5 years. In that time, she has increased the business tenfold. She's a Woman of the Channel 2020. Leslie is Business Solutions Specialist, and her business is healthcare focused. Leslie, tell us about CMIT.
Wow, I didn't know you were going to give me such a great introduction. I have a little left to give. So I'm in New York City. I own CMIT Solutions is a franchise. There are more than 240 locations across the country, allowing us the unique ability to deliver a national solution locally with the same stack, the same offerings, but a great power behind us. I would say I specialize in healthcare. My largest customers are in the healthcare vertical, but I certainly have customers of all different sizes and shapes and verticals across the city as well as across the country. Mainly, we specialize in the space of, let's say, 20 to 100 users. I'm looking forward to, and I'm excited to participate on this panel today. We have really some great participants, and I'll look forward to everyone's questions. So thanks so much for inviting me, Bachis, and I'm looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say today.
A pleasure having you here. And our second panelist is Gaby Sankovich, founder of Sankovich Solutions. Over 20 years, Gaby has gained many loyal clients who value the accuracy, insight, and up-to-date knowledge she brings to financial analysis and business planning. Gaby is focused on strategic development and implementation of accounting and financial control systems. Gaby is a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, an authorized Intuit reseller, and a certified Xero partner. She holds an MBA in International Corporate Management. An avid traveler and a self-declared beach bum, Gaby loves to toil away with a laptop in a hammock with a beach view and Wi-Fi. Gaby, tell us a little bit about Sankovich Solutions.
I started Sankovich Solutions a few years back to provide a boutique-style cloud accounting solutions provider for small businesses. Most of our clients are small businesses that provide professional services to their clients. And so they tend to be small, between 0 to 25 employees. And we do have some exceptions with some larger clients because we also take on nonprofit organizations. We have been established in the Bay Area now for over 20 years and service clients all across the United States.
Thank you, Gaby. And our third panelist is Joanna Sobran, founder and CEO of MXO Tech. MXO Tech, a Chicago-based technology consulting company with a focus on IT managed services and software development. In 2005, Joanna combined her experience in IT recruiting and healthcare to launch MXO Tech, and today, the boutique IT firm supports over 60 clients in a variety of industries, including healthcare, manufacturing, construction, and professional services. She is the visionary and driving force behind MXO's success in recruiting top talent and customer service obsessed culture. In 2018, MXO Tech became the only minority woman-owned IT company to hold its high trust cybersecurity certification. Joanna dedicates her time and resources to supporting the local community. She has been awarded recognition for her success as an entrepreneur, including the Deborah Sawyer Rising Star Award, Crane's Chicago Business Notable Entrepreneurs, and Channel Pro's Peer of the Year Award. Joanna, tell us about MXOTech. Yep, you're muted.
That was a lot about MXO. I'll start out by saying that I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls. I'm located here in Chicago, and I started MXO Tech because I had a passion for great customer service. And even though I don't have a technical background, I really love serving our clients and providing them with technology to solve a lot of their, to help them grow their businesses, really. I started MXO actually during the real estate crisis. And so here we are in the pandemic, and I feel like I'm back where I was when I started. I left a great paying job and making $150,000 a year and started MXO. My first year was successful, so I decided to pursue it. So here I am 15 years later. It's a $5 million business, and I work with clients as large as Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois to a small manufacturer, providing them with MSP support. So,
excellent. Thank you, Joanna. And our fourth panelist is Dori Spade, VP of Services and GM of Apogee IT Services. Dori has been leading managed services teams for over 13 years. She has worked in both small and large firms. Dori's focus has always been on delighting her customers and retaining top technical talent. She is most proud of the relationship she has built in the community and her ability to provide strategic solutions that bridge the gap between tactical solutions and IT leadership. Dori, tell us a little bit about Apogee.
Thank you, Patrice. We have such a great group of ladies here. I really wanted to start out with something funny, but my 2 adult kids told me I'm just not funny. And I really just need to get down to the point of talking a little bit about Apogee. So I'll tell you that I have the great pleasure of leading the people of Apogee's Eastern region, which has been a really exciting experience for me. Apogee is a 50+ person managed services provider, and we provide solutions to customers in North America. We have 3 offices, and I use the term offices a little loosely these days and love to tell you about our experiences with that. But we have offices in Boston, Pittsburgh, and Toronto. One of the things that I think differentiates Apogee is our focus to our customers and our customer satisfaction, and what we've done to make that more than just something that we say, that we do on a day-to-day basis. This year I took on a role to help, or hopefully help, other experts by being on the strategic advisory board of the Channel Company's iPad division, which has been a great experience as well. And I'm really looking forward to this interactive webinar for all of my peers here. Very nice to speak with you today.
Excellent. Likewise, thank you all for being here. And now, before we start, let's get a feel for the audience. So I'd like to start with a couple of polls. Caleb, can you share the first poll? Our first poll is, how have the forecasts you made before the crisis changed for the August-December period? They are up by over 15%. They are up by 1 to 15%. They haven't changed at all. It is business as usual. They are down by 1 to 15%. They are down by over 15%. Now let's all vote. Great, almost 50% of you have voted. Keep those votes coming in. Let's keep those votes coming in. That's great. Almost 75% have voted. I'll hold the poll open so the last remaining people can vote. Last chance to vote. I'm closing the poll in 5 seconds. Caleb, can you show the results, please? Okay, fantastic. So they are down by 1 to 15%. 43% of you responded they are down by 1 to 15%. 18% of you responded they are down by over 15%. Then 18% responded they have changed it at all. It's business as usual. 10%, they are up by 1 to 15%, and 13% of you, they are up by over 15%. So, Dori, would you like to comment on the results?
Sure. I think that it's been a struggle for some businesses, and where we see the large percentage of things being down by 1 to 15%, I think I would owe that to some of the industries that have been particularly hard hit. But we do have quite a few folks that are showing an increase. I know that with Apogee, I would have answered that question by being up between 1 and 15%, as far as at least our non-recurring services revenue. I wouldn't say so much up the managed services revenue. And I owe that to the fact that clients are having the time, perhaps, to spend on more strategic areas of the business. And in some cases, that's an investment in IT.
Okay. Gaby, any thoughts?
I see the drop in sales for some industries as the potentially because of two different waves affecting the industry. One of them is the fact that some of the products that we sell are not going to be purchased during a pandemic. I'm not in that position. Some of the products that my clients sell, they're not going to be able to sell it during the pandemic. So what are we recommending in these cases? A pivot, a rethinking of your products and services to see how we can better position. Some others, however, are suffering simply because their consumer is in a bad financial situation, because unemployment has affected their customers' ability to purchase the product. And that's a much deeper situation and a much harder one to navigate around.
Okay, thank you so much, Gaby. Anyone else like to come in on this one?
If I could chime in for a sec, I was going to say that, you know, depending on the vertical you work in, like if you work in the event space or in restaurants, hotels, have probably affected many other MSPs in the drop in business. But we're also seeing, at least for me in New York, we were originally kind of the hot spot, and now we're almost back to somewhat business as usual, while summer is always a little quiet, and certainly this is no help and more people were working remotely. I think we've picked up a lot in projects and in things that need to get done in order to not only help the remote workforce, but the current infrastructure. And with people getting their PPP loans or EIDL, that's also been beneficial in getting their projects done and putting that money towards, you know, getting back to work.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Leslie. And we have another poll, one more. Caleb, can you share the second poll, please? Our second poll is, moving forward, what are your biggest challenges? Please check all that apply, and you can check more than one box. Clients unable to pay due to the crisis, major projects on hold, moving our efforts to digital sales and marketing, meeting increasing service needs from client staff working from home, managing staff working remotely. Now let's all vote. Great, almost 50% of you have voted. Keep those votes coming in. Okay, that's great. Almost 75% have voted. I hold the poll open so the last remaining people can vote. Last chance to vote. I'm closing the poll in 5 seconds. Caleb, can you show the results, please? So the results are 36% of you responded clients unable to pay due to the crisis. 64% of you said major projects on hold. 50% said moving our efforts to digital sales and marketing. 22% said meeting the increasing service needs from client staff working from home, and 25% responding managing staff working remotely. So, Joanna, would you like to comment on the results?
Sure. Well, for us here in Chicago, it's still pretty busy. I would say, my biggest challenge is making sure that we keep up with our customer service for our clients, because everybody is working from home. We don't have that camaraderie that we normally have in the office. And so I think it's been a little challenging for us and trying to make sure that we are still like staying in communication and all on the same page with our core values and all of our goals. In terms of projects, it's been pretty busy. I've seen an uptick. Clients are actually doing projects right now. Everything from IT projects to software development projects, digitizing their manual processes into mobile applications or web applications. So I've seen some growth there. Overall, there's been a lot of growth. And then, I think it's important for all of us to keep up with our sales and marketing, because 36% said clients unable to pay, right? So we have to replace those clients with customers that are thriving during this time.
Okay. And Leslie, any thoughts on this?
I would say I agree. I work remotely. I don't have an office space in Manhattan. So that part has not been so difficult, thankfully. But I would say that, certainly these are interesting and challenging times for everybody. And maybe that doesn't necessarily fit all of the criteria put forth in the poll. I think the challenges are different based on, who your customer base is, as well as your market, where you are in the country. But certainly, I think that collaborating, checking in with our customers to make sure that they feel valued and cared for, as well as making sure that the projects we discussed prior to COVID are still things that they're interested in doing, and how we can make sure to get them on track to get their, to help them meet their goals in, such a difficult time.
Excellent. Anyone else like to come in on this one?
Actually, I think that for a company like us, we are cloud services oriented. It has been really easy in terms of us continuing to manage the work remotely like we've always done. But for most of our clients, we are their only window into the cloud, and all of their other processes are in-house. And so we have become the experts in the field of working remote, and we have had to shift our focus not just to making their numbers easy, which is our expertise, but also to making sure that the teams are productive, safe, and connected while working from home, and supporting each one of our clients during this process.
I'll add to Gabby's comment. I think this is a great opportunity for all of us that are in tech in some way to really show the value and what technology, the role that technology plays, and how much it's needed to stay in business and even thrive during this time, right? So all those recommendations we made during our technology business review meetings to our customers, maybe at some points they thought we were just trying to upsell them. Really what we were doing is preparing them for a situation like this so they can, in a switch, go and work remote and being in the cloud, right, Gabby? And having the technology so they can maintain and thrive right now.
Right. It's such a testament, just to add, sorry, to that. It's just a testament to what we've been telling them all along, unfortunately. And it's like, right. We've had, we were all kind of focused, I feel like, on security of recent. And now we've kind of gone back to, what our initial strategies were, which was disaster recovery, right. Prior to getting so much more concern around security. So now it's kind of a factor of both.
Excellent, great. And now let me start with a couple of questions, but this is your webinar, so please do ask questions. And we have them coming in, okay? The first one, what is the most important change you have implemented in your business to enable you to succeed in 2020? Dori, would you like to start on this one?
Sure. The most important change. Like everyone else, we've had to shift to a remote model, and that has meant keeping our team members engaged with our customers and engaged with each other. So I would say in terms of being engaged with each other, one thing that we've done is with our remote team, we've started doing a daily, what we call a sprint call. We have it at 8 in the morning. I've been told that's a little cruel, but we do start early. We're all on camera. We discuss with each other what's going on. For this approach could also be used if you had a larger team and the supervisors could just perhaps meet with their own teams. But it really gets us going and makes sure that everybody does have a plan for today, where you don't have that same accountability as being in an office. So I think on the internal side, that's one of the most important changes that we've made. And on the customer side, assuring our customers that a lot of these projects are perfectly well done remotely. So sometimes when their business is maybe a little bit on hold, it's a good time to allow them to let you do a project and relieving their fear that this can be done quite perfectly remotely. And that's helped us keep the flow of work going as well. So I guess those are a couple of key small areas we've had success with.
Right. And Gaby, any thoughts on that?
I am finding that my comfort level with the remote tools and the cloud applications and my expertise around them and the fact that we use them every day, even if in our sleep, has brought a lot of comfort to our clients that were obviously very scared of this remote world and very fearful that it would mean hardship to their businesses. And March and April were really hard. There was a lot of work trying to work with each client and show them and helping them adapt and start working with the applications that would make those processes easier. But now in June, July, what we started seeing was some success stories in each one of our clients with these introductions of cloud application technology. And a lot of them are starting to see the results, and they're starting to see that their teams are working fine, and the communication continues happening, and the business goes not as usual, but continues. And we're starting to reap the results of the amount of work, training, and stress that we had in March and April trying to overhaul all our clients into the cloud.
Okay, and we have a great question from the audience. Since security is such a hot topic, what security stack do you offer to your clients? And let's start with Leslie this time.
Sure. I said security, so you had to throw me out there. So I would say, I don't know that we changed much from what we were doing, but, and we talk about this a lot in MIT Solutions as owners around clients already thinking that you're securing them and how to come back to them and say, we really want to add this layer or that layer. So, beyond just the initial services offered by every single MSP out there, how can we take that a step further? And I was going to say before, even like leaning into our partners has probably been the biggest change that we've implemented as in this business for a lot less time than everyone else on this panel. I feel like we were really prepared for this because this was what we were selling into accounts already, the ability to work to recover from disaster. And now how do we secure that, right? So we've added on additional layers between SOC and SIM, between, like I said, leveraging some of our different partners, installing MFA at every customer, educating them, doing security awareness trainings, things like that, all to kind of add value. Because I think in times like this, we always have to come back to whatever our company mission statement is, right? Because everything needs to constantly be fed back into that. And for me, that's really proactivity, value, and kindness. right? If I can constantly keep answering back to that, I know I'm doing the right thing by my customers. And that fit in very well with security in the midst of all this kind of craziness.
Right. Joanna, any comments on that one?
Yeah, you know, I definitely saw a big need for security, everyone asking about it. So I actually took the opportunity to change my service plans during this time. We used to have 2 different plans. One included some on-site support, and then we sold like certain security components separately. I decided to create one plan, and I increased my pricing, and I added a security package because I felt like it's no longer, do you want this? It's, you need to have this, and here's why. And people have been super receptive to it and have actually expressed to me on several calls now with our prospects that other competitors aren't offering that as part of their package. So I think, you know, just like anything, whatever happens in your life, personally, professionally, you have to adjust. And I find this to be a great time to make changes to your business and support your customers the way they really need it to be supported. But now this is an opportunity for them to understand and see it and value it a lot more. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else like to comment on this one? Because we have more questions coming in. But Dori, I saw you wanted to.
I was quickly going to say, you know, Gaby had mentioned communication as a key area. And when it comes to security, I think there's, you know, with our customers, sometimes there's confusion around the basic offering. And as Leslie had said, you know, the basic offering that most managed services firms have out there, as well as the more advanced offering. I think communication is really a key factor that we have to be very focused to. Otherwise, it does seem to our customers to be something that they don't really need, but maybe only others need it.
And Dori, I'm just going to add one word to that: communication and education.
And education, yes, I agree.
Right.
We trust.
People, your clients don't always understand, so they're not buying because they don't know their risks. And I think it's our job to educate from the time you market to them, to your sales presentation, to your ongoing support.
Fantastic. We have another fabulous question. What marketing strategies are working best for you to generate good leads? And Gaby, let's start with you on this one.
Well, our clients have always been our best source of leads. There's nothing better than a happy client talking about you and bragging about your services to land you some really good leads. So we continue relying on that. And how we rely on that, our effort never goes out, hey, let's go out and get some leads. Our effort is always focused on which client needs some support and how can we best support them. Once we have a really happy client complimenting our effort, our service, or our support, we immediately follow up with that, with how happy are you? Who do you know that can benefit from our services? Would you write a testimonial for our website? Please brag about us. And we have continued receiving a lot of leads during these difficult times because we're focusing our services on helping clients navigate these times specifically. So it's very easy for one of our business owners to go out there and tell their partners about the support they received from us for a PPP loan, or to secure an EIDL loan, or to have real-time financial reports to provide to a bank. And we're seeing people coming to us precisely for those services.
Great. Right. Okay. Leslie?
I think, I mean, it's a little bit different for me because, of course, CMIT Solutions is a franchise, so marketing is part of what they do for us. And certainly kind of being able to market as a brand becomes a little bit easier that way. For me personally, in my little location in New York City, a lot of it, of course, has to do with referral and referral marketing. A lot of it, though, has to do with education. Where can I make a difference for a bunch of small business owners or healthcare providers, where I can educate, discuss their risks, discuss their trials and tribulations around IT, And certainly that's been most beneficial and honestly most fun. I love talking to people out, in my market and kind of understanding what their challenges are and how we can answer them. Or, if I can't answer them, where I can refer them. I think that's probably something, all of us are involved in on a regular basis. And you never want to feel like you're selling, right? You want to market yourself as an educated knowledge base that people can come to when they're in need. I had just a funny story I just want to add. Someone from my an old friend of mine came to me. She had lost a bunch of emails, called Apple, called the support, called all these places, couldn't get her email back. So she challenged my technician with $1,000, offering him if he could get her email back. And we were successful. And I'm not into the personal residential space. She's a small business owner. But she was like, I'm going to go on my mom's site. There's 40,000 members, and I'm going to tell them what you guys did. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's make that a really nice effort, because I don't want a bunch of moms, as much as I love moms, I'm a mom, to call me looking for me to rescue an email. What we need to do is make it a solution-based proposition to them about what the challenge was as a business owner. So things like that come our way is really kind of fun, and also, gives us the opportunity to gain more clients.
Excellent. And Dori, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think referrals, I think, is definitely the key that we have success, but it's not always easy to put a process around getting the referral, I guess. And so one thing that I always try to do is, as soon as we're done with a project, or maybe even before the project, I ask, I know you're going to be really, really pleased with the results of this project. If I'm right, which I feel confident I will be, would you mind, doing a brief interview with me, or letting me post something on our website, or doing a case study, or whatever it is that I want, giving me a little letter, or whatever it is that I want. I ask up front, because when I need the referral, it seems like it's just hard to get it right at that time. So I want to make sure that I have a book of referrals ready to go when I need them.
Okay, and Joanna?
Well, I'm a big believer in a lot of different marketing oil wells. I've learned this from Robin, so I always do different things. And right now, what I've seen really working is webinars. I hated doing webinars. I never did them prior to the pandemic, but now people actually participate. So we've gotten a lot of leads through that and closed some clients. Our SEO has definitely picked up. And now we're going to do some direct mail postcard type of campaigns, because people are starting to come back into the office, and everybody thinks maybe direct mail isn't a good strategy right now, but I think there's just not a lot of people doing it. So that's something else that we're trying. But I would say the educational component with the webinars, both for your existing clients and prospects, are a really great way to go. We focused on doing it around Teams, right when kind of COVID hit, because that's what everybody was using and they didn't know how. So we gained a lot of traction and value through that. But I always recommend doing, at least 3 different things, because you never know where your leads are going to come from.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Joanna. And another great question coming in. How much of your sales effort is digital marketing, and how much is traditional direct contact work efforts? Who would like to start on this one?
For us, it's mostly digital marketing. I think these times are very internet-based, cloud-based, and so our marketing efforts are in our website, our social media, and trying to have our brand really clear across all of them. But one of the biggest things we're doing right now is working a lot tighter with our partners, with the partners that make our apps. Because what we do is fabulous to the client, because the knowledge that we bring to the table. But how we do that for the client is totally dependent on our tools, and our tools are those applications. And those applications have always been kind of in our tool belt, and we pull them out to do the work. And right now in our marketing efforts, we're trying to pull those applications up those applications up and put them in the forefront, and introducing them to our clients so that they are very aware of what each one of these applications helps us do for them. Because we are trying to encourage clients that are not using cloud applications to jump into this pool with us and start using these applications. So they have to become very familiar with them and see how we are using them to do their work so that they can maybe adopt them for other parts of their processes.
I'll add to that. You know, another thing that I never liked doing besides webinars was cold calling. And I decided to try it right now because I found that while I was calling some of our clients and just overall people, they were answering the phone, and people are a lot more willing to talk right now. And so we have added that as another strategy for generating leads and growing the business. And it's actually working. People, I think, are picking up the phone a lot more and having conversations. They're working from home, so they have a little bit more leisure to do that.
Or they're lonely and they need company.
Well, a little lonely.
Fabulous. Great. And I have another fantastic question coming in, but this is for Leslie. Leslie, you are part of a franchise. How does that work, and how is that helping you today?
So similar to Joanna, I am not technical, never was. My children like to make fun of me about how I can't fix my phone or I can't figure something out on the computer. So I think that really what I tell them is, so look what your mother's doing, that there are clients who rely on me to run their whole infrastructure. And it's based on, you know, business solutions. So I think the reason that I was so enamored with the franchise system was the idea that I have all this outside support, including fantastic partners across the country, including our home office, which really develops the stack. And unlike, let's say, a Starbucks, where if I like to bake, I couldn't sell my own brownies, here I can sell what they advise me or other solutions that I find more feasible for my clients. And I think, you know, between the marketing and the really the support, there is just a lot to learn from our different partners. So I can ask questions of so many different people when I'm stuck on a solution, or when I want to do something a different way, or when I have a particular customer that doesn't fit into my normal vertical. I'll find someone within the system that you know, has access to that type of customer, whether it's accounting or law or healthcare or, you know, record company or manufacturing. So it's really been super beneficial, because initially when I looked at this, you know, people could just hang a shingle and say, okay, I'm ABC Solutions. And there was no way that someone like me as a business owner would have been able to do that or start a successful company without this type of support, for me.
Excellent. Nope, excellent. And there are more questions coming in, and I have another great question from the audience. Many people suggest that the crisis has opened up a number of security-related opportunities. Do you agree? And if so, how are you taking advantage of this? Who wants to?
I'll talk a little bit to that, Bachis, thank you. I do agree that the current environment has opened up a lot of opportunities for security. We talked about, you know, the basic security offering and then going into more in an advanced security offering. With Apogee, we have a great security partner. We had the security partner before the pandemic started, but we have certainly been exploring more creative ways to work together. And if any of our audience is channel partners, I can say that the reliance on their specific expertise is huge. And it's not just a, you know, come in and train my team one time. So if you have a partner, a channel partner out there, ask more of them. Ask them to do a webinar with you. Ask them to help you with some marketing materials, or even sales. You know, if they have a call center, if they want to, you know, help with cold calling or getting information out. We've really used our security partner, and our customers are super thankful that we have that area of expertise to bring to them during these times.
Dori, would you mind giving an example of what kind of vendors that you're referring to lean on?
Well, it's whatever one you choose. We personally, for our security partner, we use eCentire, and then of course we have partners with Fortinet for firewall and things like that. But our security partner is eCentire. But I think it's whomever you choose to partner with. The big point I think is how are you using them? Are you really utilizing them, or because it's an area of expertise. The reason why Apogee uses eCentire is because we don't have that area of specialty internal. We really want to bring that high level to our customers, and they have it. They have that great area. They have a SOC, and they have all the security specialists and things like that.
Fabulous. Okay. And keep questions coming. I have another great question from the audience. Many people suggest that the crisis has opened up a number, with many major projects on hold, what do you recommend we do to help bring them to fruition? Who would like to start on that one?
I was just going to say, I would start with the end result of what that project's going to bring, whether that's value to solve a problem, whether that's, a value to help with their revenue or to drive revenue. I'm honestly surprised at the amount of projects we've been given in the middle of this, partially because, you have to think that more and more clients, because of the pandemic, are going to want to move their on-premise to remote and to, and to the cloud. And I think that what we've done really to help progress is say, hey, we have time, we have focus, let's get this on the schedule. And, we've really tried to partner with them in a lot of ways to say, you know what, you can probably hold off on this for the moment till you bring, employees back. But if you can't, or if there's something timing out or something that's giving issues and not allowing them to be productive, you kind of have to magnify that and ask them, what's it worth to not get the project done, especially if it's relevant to their day-to-day.
As the financial advisor for most of my clients, I'm finding I'm spending a lot of time redoing budgets and cash flows with my clients, not to see what cannot be done, but to see how to shift resources to get the most important projects done. And we're evaluating each project from the point of view of how is this going to help us during the pandemic. And the end result is that some projects do need to be put on hold until we're out of this situation because they don't grant the resources and the time right now. But that just means that putting those projects on hold frees resources and time for us to focus on the ones that will help us right now. And the other side of this is that if you have clear financial reports and a good relationship with your banker, we can probably secure SBA loans at this time for your business. SBA loans like the PPP loan to help you navigate the difficulties, but a lot of my clients are also securing EIDL loans that are allowing them to grow during this period. And that growth is secured by that funding, by that low-cost funding, and the owner's ability and time to put into this project now because their time is not cast by taking care of clients. So I see it all as opportunities. We just need to stay alert of what those are and be ready to pivot. We have to be like a dancer, ready to make that twist.
Right.
To add a little bit to that, I read that 40% of minority-owned businesses, which is us women, right, are going out of business because they don't have the right technology to support them. And I think that goes for all businesses. And this is the time that if you want to sustain your business, you have to invest in technology. And again, it's kind of back to educating your customers about that and really sitting down with them and having those technology meetings, whether you're using Zoom or Teams, right, or just the phone, and having those conversations. Because ultimately, actually, I read another survey that 69% of businesses are really counting on technology and more than they have in the past. So I feel like this is such a great opportunity for all of us. And if we're having the right conversations with those leaders of the organizations who are just as worried as all of us, right? They will invest in technology more than they were even before this happened. So with those projects, I think you can certainly increase those by just meeting and understanding the value proposition.
Excellent. And we have another great question. During the pandemic, have you received additional support from your vendors? And if so, what have they done? Dori, let's start with you this time.
Good question.
So I think it goes back to what I was just speaking to with the security partner. I think they have to be and have been more active with us. It's not just calling them when we think we have, a deal to register or an opportunity to register, but being responsive is key to me. When I have an opportunity with a client or a prospective client and I have a question about one of their solutions, I need them to get back to me right away because that's what's important to my clients. And if I'm dependent on them for information, they need to know that their responsiveness is key to me. Also, making it easy for me to understand the solutions and present it to the customers. And I guess, so those are two key things. And then the third thing I would say is utilizing their team. So maybe they come on to webinars, they come on to sales calls with me, help me with marketing material. So I'd say those are the three key areas.
Can I just add, Dori, I 100% agree with every single piece of what you said. I think that those are like the keys that every vendor should be considering. And I won't even, let's call them partners because I hate the word vendor. But I would say, all of those, educating us, sending us demo equipment so our technicians can check it out and mess with it before, deciding whether or not we want to use it with a customer. But I think having those strong relationships and building on that is so good both for you as the MSP and them as the partner. And adding them to your sales team or your education team or all of those things, them giving us marketing materials or educating us around a solution or a product that will help us during this time is completely key.
Excellent. Keep those questions coming. Here's another. Do you believe that it is still true that people buy from people? If so, how in the virtual world do you make yourself real to your prospects?
Well, video certainly helps, right? Collaborating over video when we don't want to send our technicians in or we couldn't go in because you don't want to be sitting 7 feet apart from your prospects. But video has been a huge help in being able to be real to prospects. But certainly testimonials from your current clients or intros from your current clients is going to be, even that much better because that's most of the cases probably where we get our best business.
And every organization out there is adapting to this new way of meeting. And so it's reaching out to whoever you network with before this situation took over our lives and continue those efforts even though they have to be over the computer and not in person. A key exercise of our business before March was attending all the networking events in our industry and also in our cities, in our counties, chambers of commerce, all of that. That's no longer available to us in person, but you can still put on a nice blouse, grab a glass of wine and sit down and attend the Chamber of Commerce meetings online. You can still attend the Intuit training programs online. You can still go to meetups and stay connected with your apps, with your partners, and with your colleagues so that you continue to have a presence in the industry. Calling your clients and Zooming with them has become so much more important. Last year, I could go months without having a serious conversation with a client. And it was just sufficient at the end of the month to send them their financial reports and ask them if they had any questions. That's no longer acceptable. Now, every month, every week, every 2 weeks, you have to have a conversation with your clients to see where they're at, what's their priority today, and how could you best support that.
Right. Joanna, any comments on that one?
I think, Leslie and Gabby covered a lot of it. I would also say that it's very important for us during this time to keep that open communication and transparency with our employees because they're the front line of our company. And so maybe not motivating them, but inspiring them and staying in front of them and communicating to them on a consistent basis is so important because they're at home, right? They're only talking to the customers, especially like on a help desk support or a developer. And so it's really communicating with them, making sure that they know everything is going well, so they have that positive attitude to the customers that are on the other end.
Dori, any comments on that one?
I guess I would just say that I think that the challenges I'll turn around to a benefit is that with all these people working from home and video, I've really gotten to know what's going on behind the scenes with, in my customers' personal lives to an extent, right? Their kids are jumping into the video or their pets are jumping in, or you see a little piece of where they are working, what their workspace is like. And just trying to use that to forge a little bit of a closer relationship with those folks.
Okay. And another great question coming in, what other marketing tactics are working for you?
I have reached out to my partner apps and proposed to them that we approach my clients as a united front. And so right now I'm working with Intuit, Zero, Gusto, T-Sheets, Rewind, to put together swag from all of their companies and our company and put a little mailer together for our clients to pamper them, remind them who we are, remind them what our tools are and what they can do for them. And what that's going to accomplish is not all my clients are using all of the apps that we bring to the table. And so this mailer will be an opening opportunity for the sales call of, hey, did you see the Gusto little pair of socks? Let me talk to you about Gusto and how it can help your process. And at the same time, you are loving T-Sheets and we are loving T-Sheets. Do you know anybody who would benefit from these right now that all the staff is working from home? And so I think it's a very personal way of approaching new business.
Great. Anybody else would like to come in on this one? Oh, okay. Let's get the other question. So what key changes have you put in place to help service customers more effectively? Joanna, we're going to start on this one.
In terms of changes, I would say we haven't, other than really working remote and adding a lot more security to our clients, we haven't, security type packages to our clients. We haven't made too many changes besides going to doing video calls with them, right? Transitioning to doing those technology business reviews from in person to now online. Making sure that we're over communicating because they're not seeing us in person as much, right? So that's been really key. We've added a role into our organization of somebody that's literally just calling our clients on a daily basis, several times a day, different clients, and communicating about customer satisfaction, how many tickets they had, what were their responses, how happy are they, just really being very proactive on the support side and making sure that we're just constantly talking to our clients. I mean, we were doing that. It's just kind of, we had to change it now to more of a video, phone, and maybe added an additional role.
Excellent. Thank you, Joanna. And we're almost out of time. So if you had one piece of advice that will help the audience grow their business, what would it be?
If I could chime in, I would say it's first the human element, right? We need to call our customers. We need to ask how they're doing on a personal front, not just about their business, but checking in with them. This is such a stressful time for people. I think they remember that you cared. The other thing is pivoting. You know, we talk a lot about this. You must pivot to meet them where they are, right? And how do we change our businesses or help our customers change their business to remain in business, to be profitable? How can we support them? How can we be true partners that they value?
Right. And any other comment on that?
Sure. You know, I agree with that. We need to stay very close to our customers. I really love what Joanna was talking about with, you mentioned being proactive and giving specific ways of how you're being proactive in terms of reports and things like that. I think that in the MSP world, we use the term, you know, we're proactive. But I think that, you know, let's challenge ourselves to say, what does that actually mean? What are we really doing? And I've done that in the past. Again, it's not so much something different because of the pandemic, but, you know, what are we doing to be proactive? And the most important thing that we're doing is asking our customers, how are we doing and what could we do better? And then finding out, what do you see any patterns in what they're saying? Even, or if it's a prospect and they're coming from a competitor, what are they telling you? And a lot of the prospects that I've spoken to, they were saying to the that the competitors weren't proactive. So I wanted to put in together a program of what that means. And Joanne gave some good examples.
Thank you so much. We still have a lot of number of questions left. Our panelists have committed to answer them, and they will be posted along with the recording in the community tomorrow. A big thank you to Gaby, Leslie, Dori, and Joanna for some fabulous insights. And a huge thank you to our audience for joining us and for asking some great questions. As we close, you also survey, please complete it. And everyone who does will qualify for a $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.